Let's discuss the past tense in Spanish today. We're going to discuss a particular past tense, so let's see that there are many, and we're not going to discuss this past tense. We're not going to discuss this past tense. We're not going to discuss this past tense, neither this past tense nor that past tense. This is the past tense that we are going to discuss today, which is called the preterite past tense. In Spanish it's el pretérito, and in English it is the preterite, or sometimes it is called also the simple past tense. So we're going to discuss today the regular verbs in Spanish, and please note that if you do not know how to conjugate the regular verbs in the present, you probably need to take care of it before moving on to the conjugation of the past tense. Okay, so as you remember, in Spanish there are only three conjugations of the regular verbs that end on AR, ER, and IR. And we are going to deal with the regular verbs that end on AR, which is the largest group of the verbs. So let's see. You have a verb, and it is hablar, and the ending of the hablar is ar. So the first thing you do in order to conjugate the verb, you need to take the ending out. So you do that, and you put your house of conjugation with 6 spots right here, and then you add the endings that are fixed for all regular verbs of the preterite tense. So it will be here, it will be hablé, hablaste, habló, hablamos, hablasteis, and hablaron. Please note that in order to fully comprehend this lesson, you need to be comfortable with the subject pronouns, which would be here yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, nosotras, vosotros, vosotras, used only in Spain. Hablaron would be ustedes and ellos. Please note, if you do not know the subject pronouns, go back, learn them, and then move on to the conjugation. Because if you are not comfortable with the subject pronouns, the conjugation is not going to happen. Alright, so we have here la señora pera, we have here el señor sandía, and we're going to work with them. Let's move on. We have the verb that ends on ER, which is the second conjugation. And the regular verbs in Spanish also have fixed endings. It would be comí, comiste, comió, comimos, comisteis, and comieron. And that would be the conjugation for the verb comer. Comer means to eat, so it would be I ate, you ate, she, he, you sir, you ma'am ate, we ate, you plural ate in Spain, and here it will be you plural ate in Latin America, ustedes, or ellos, which is they, the third person plural. Here you have the verb vivir. In order to conjugate it, you do exactly the same operation. You remove the I, ir, the ending, and then the endings will be viví, viviste, vivió, vivimos, vivisteis, vivieron. And then you might have a question. Just a second, what's going on here? For nosotros, it is the same in the present and the same in the past? Correct. If we go back, we will see that here it is not the same. It is actually different because of that letter. And here, for the R, again, it will be the same. So what does it mean? It means that in AR, right here, and IR, regular verb conjugations, the we first person plural form coincides with the past. So the past and the present are the same, and it's the context that will tell you which one you need to use. Alright? And it does not coincide for the ER verbs. Okay? So here we go, all of them together. In Spanish, there are three kinds of conjugations: AR, ER, IR. You have here hablé, hablaste, habló, hablamos, hablasteis, hablaron, which means I spoke, you spoke, she, he, you sir, you ma'am spoke, we spoke, y'all, you, plural, spoke, and here hablaron, you have you all spoke in Latin America, and they spoke. I ate, you ate, she, he ate, we ate, you plural, you guys ate. Comieron would be you guys ate in Latin America, and they ate. And then finally ir, which is to live, and it will be I lived, you lived, he, she lived, we lived, you guys lived, they lived. So note that the meaning is here to speak, to eat, and to live. Note all three verbs are regular, and this is the key. This conjugation works only for regular verbs. For irregular verbs, it will be different rules, different explanation. Note that in English, you have to have the subject. You cannot say went to the store. You have to say I went to the store, he went to the store, and they went to the store. So in Spanish, the conjugation is explicit, and that's why you do not need the subject. You could say hablé, which means I spoke, and it's a full sentence. You could say comió, he ate, and it is a full sentence because the subject is skippable. And vivimos, we live, it is also a full sentence because the subject is optional in Spanish. Remember, Spanish is the language of freedom. So you have here the character that we mentioned, who remembers the past. Try to translate these sentences into Spanish. And then after you're done, try to translate the sentences referring to Señora Pera right here also into Spanish. After you're done, go back, beginning of the lesson, and compare the conjugations. If they coincide, you're done, and if not, you need still work on them. So remember that the conjugations need to be memorized and be automatic. It is somewhat arbitrary, but it is absolutely necessary to memorize them. I hope it helps. Thank you.